living on the cheap and trying to figure out. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about consolidating debt. If you have a line of credit, a lot of people think about consolidating all their debt into the line of credit so they only have one payment. As great as an idea as it is, it's probably a couple of the pros is that it's a lower interest rate than a credit card debt. The other one is also there is no minimum payment per se, but there is just you pay your interest every month. Problem with that is if you don't have, let's say, a goal date to finish or pay off the line of credit, you could be paying your line of credit forever and never paying it off, and it's just growing and growing and growing. For instance, we had a line of credit, and I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, something like this, we actually consolidated all our debt into the line of credit. At the time, it was $12,000. I will never forget. Fast forward 15 or so years, and our line of credit is now at 40 some odd thousand dollars, and we never paid towards the principal ever because we kept paying just the interest that came out every month. You had to have an account, so you got your line of credit and you have your bank account, and you had to make sure there's money in there because every month they would take the payment of your interest. Bad news is it just kept climbing and climbing and climbing while we were paying the interest. Well, it wasn't the full interest, it was the interest payment. Again, this is some of the mumbo jumbo they tell you at banks, and if you're not financially smart, I guess intelligent, or know the mumbo jumbo that the big banks use, these big $5 words, you'll get ripped off as we did. So I do have to say, in 15 years or whatever it was, we did pay money towards it, but it never lowered that amount. In fact, that amount kept climbing because we would add on a fridge, a car, a travel trailer. What else do we add on? Tools. I'm sure there were stupider things that we've added on. That's what we did. Until we started to think of getting rid of our debt. Only then, I am not kidding you, in the last, let's say, October, November, December, last 7 months, I've been able to pay off $20,000 in 7 months. So this is they're still taking out only that interest payment monthly, which is only a couple $100, but it doesn't add up to anything to take away from that big balance of what we owed. So line of credits, yes, they can be helpful, but really you need to change your habits. That is the strongest thing that I can tell anybody. You need to change your habit. So the habit was no longer using debt, no longer using that line of credit as a crutch, or credit cards for that matter. Delaying big purchases or expensive purchases, whatever you might think of them, and saving up now so that you could pay that and not owe anybody later. So, line of credit, do I recommend it for a consolidation? No, not really. I do recommend it if maybe your main pipe, or the heater pipe, whatever, blows, and you don't have the money right away. But I do suggest paying it off right away and making a goal to pay it off. I know when we were smart about credit cards, and this is just totally off topic thing, but we would buy a dishwasher on the Brick credit card. It was due in 6 months, and you didn't have to pay anything for those first 6 months except for the interest. But the final payment was going to be bloated because there was more interest. You were only paying the first 6 months of interest. So what I did was I would take that bloated amount, divided it up by 5, not 6, 5, and pay monthly payments towards it until that 6th month it was gone free and we didn't owe anything on it. Did I do that with the line of credit? No, which I should have if I was smart back then, but I wasn't smart enough, and I hope now that I am smarter. Sometimes some of us have to learn by making big mistakes. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Don't forget that you can subscribe right here by hitting on that little piggy, and also YouTube will select this video just for you to watch, and here's a playlist that you can watch of mine as well. We will talk to you soon.